It's not about court packing. There's a number of other things that our constitutional scholars have debated, and I'd look to see what recommendations that commission might make.
So you're telling us you're going to study this issue about whether to pack the court?
No, whether there's a number of alternatives that go well beyond packing. The last thing we need to do is turn the Supreme Court into just a political football. Whoever has the most votes gets whatever they want.
Wow. Here we go. Senator Lindsey Graham, that was a little clip from 60 Minutes, which is going to be listed on Sunday. So Joe Biden weighing in on court packing, depending on how this goes. So maybe you should tell the former vice president how this is going to go today when you vote, because no Democrat's going to show up and you're not going to have a quorum.
Well, under the committee rules, you need 2 members of the minority to conduct business, but they're intentionally denying us that participation. They're boycotting the committee. So what I will do as chairman, there'll be a majority of the committee present. We will waive that rule. We'll report Judge Barrett out. She'll go to the floor, and hopefully by Monday or Tuesday she'll be on the court. And to my Democratic colleagues, you had 4 days of hearings, 2 days to question the judge. She deserves an up or down vote. She did an outstanding job representing herself. She soared when it came to the law. She had a judicial disposition that should be the gold standard. She's led a consequential life. She deserves better than this, but she will get out of the committee today. I have the votes to get her out of committee. She will be reported out of committee no matter what the Democrats do.
Okay, well, there you go. Going back to the soundbite we just heard, 60 Minutes released Joe Biden, that soundbite, and the president tweeted 25 minutes ago, I will soon be giving a first in TV history, the unedited preview of, apparently he's going to release the entire interview shot by a White House camera as well. What do you make of, you know, he's being combative even with 60 Minutes in the run-up to tonight's debate for pre-election?
Here's what I think. The mainstream media is an extension of the Democratic Party in this campaign. I don't even know why he agreed to a 60 Minutes interview. From the time he sits down to he gets up, they're trying to ask him questions to destroy his presidency. And, you know, I don't know what Joe Biden said. I mean, I've known Joe for 25 years. What he said to me is just gibberish. I don't know what that means. Here's what I know is going to happen. If they get the House, the Senate, and the White House, they're going to expand the Supreme Court. Look at what happened to Dianne Feinstein for hugging me. The people who want to destroy her life for giving me a hug are going to insist that they expand the Supreme Court from 9 to probably 13 to make it liberal. And Joe Biden's along for the ride. He's no more in charge of the Democratic Party than I am. The people trying to destroy Dianne Feinstein's life are in charge of the party. Voters, if you don't get that, you're making a mistake. And what Joe said made 0 sense to me constitutionally.
So we showed that video yesterday of you getting harassed, basically ambushed at the airport by those women. One of them said she was from Seattle because she's not in favor of Judge Amy Coney Barrett. What was going through your mind? Is it worth it to be a politician this day and age?
Oh, absolutely. You know what was going through my mind today? We're going to vote this fine lady out, probably the most qualified person to be nominated in decades, maybe ever, for the court. Deepen the law. She's not going to impose the law of Amy on the country. She's led a consequential life. And here's what's so important, Ainsley. For the millions of young conservative women who are pro-life, embrace their faith, there's a place at the Supreme Court for you. This is a historic moment. We're breaking not a glass ceiling, a concrete barrier, by putting a conservative on the court like Amy Barrett. So they're trying to intimidate me. My opponent raised $2.3 million a day after Justice Ginsburg died. They come to my house they broke the window at my house. They're in my face wherever I go. It's not going to work. I'm going to get Judge Barrett on the court. I have her back. To the people listening out there, have my back. LindseyGraham.com. Help me get my message out. I'm going to be stuck up here getting this nomination through. Help me get my message out. LindseyGraham.com. A little bit goes a long way. So if you can help me, I appreciate it. I'm not going to let these people win.
So I know former President Obama is going to be helping out your opponent, Jamie Harrison, who does not want to admit he's a Democrat, which is an odd way for running for the Democrat to be a Democrat from South Carolina. Right. But, you know, when Ben Sasse made those comments last week on that radio interview, there's the story that the people seem to be trying to write is that the Republicans are leaving the president and that things look grim. What's the reality? You spoke to him yesterday. You speak to your Senate colleagues all the time.
Yes. Well, here's what I just did a poll back home. We're doing well, but the amount of money coming into my race is going to be about $120 million, the most in the history of the United States Senate. So help me close the gap if you can. Well, Ben Sasse was speaking for himself. I like Ben. He did a good job at the hearing. But Ben's wrong. The president has stood up to Iran and China unlike anybody in my lifetime. 96% approval rating by Republicans in South Carolina. President Trump, by nominating Amy Barrett, Gorsuch and Kavanaugh, has united the party around judges. These are three highly qualified people. The Republican Party is behind Trump, and people in the middle, you need to understand, we're going to defeat the virus. We'll find a vaccine, but what will America look like if they get in charge? The Democrats, open borders and free health care for illegals, high taxes, oppressive regulation, a weak military, back into the Iran agreement, liberal judges with a stacked, packed court. If Trump wins, lower taxes, lower regulations, better freight trade deals, a strong military, a safer America, a guy's got the cops back, and conservative judges. I'm begging the president to talk about America post-virus.
You're ready for the debate. So if you had the debate tonight, I think you'd be ready to go.
Yeah, no, I mean, the differences are stark.
Yeah.
They will take this country down a socialist path. The president will take it down a free enterprise path. We'll stay strong militarily versus being weak. They're now going after the Pentagon. It's not just enough to defund the police. The craziest people in the country are in charge of the Democratic Party. They're willing to destroy Dianne Feinstein's life because she gave me a hug. Stand up to these people. I'm not going to be intimidated. You shouldn't be intimidated. LindseyGraham.com. Help Donald Trump. Help Joni Ernst. Help Tom Tillis. Let's fight back. Our country's at stake. We're going to win this. 4 more years of Donald Trump means 4 more years of conservative judges, people having the cops back, 4 more years of lower taxes, 4 more years of a strong military, 4 more years of an entrepreneurial America. Just think about how exciting it would be to have President Trump for 4 more years with a Republican Senate. We'll change this country in a positive way.
Senator, thank you so much.
I'll see you today. I'll be the little short guy Amy Barrett's going through today.
All right.
Thank you.